Hello, hello. I wanted to give you a quick overview of Honeybook, which is my customer relationship management system that I use to organize literally my whole business. I wish that I had done something like this years and years and years ago. I just started using it about a year ago now, and it has saved my life. I don't know how I ever functioned without it. And I'm honestly a pretty organized person. I'm pretty type A, all of that stuff, but Google Docs and I was using Trello or trying to, and some other little task management systems like that. It just wasn't working. So, not the big things weren't falling through the cracks, but I was definitely not giving my clients the same experience. And the little things that really would have made a difference for them were definitely getting missed because I'd be like, oh, did I follow up with them? I can't even remember. So I'm very excited to share this with you. I'm going to make myself small here so you can see my screen better. So let's start from very beginning. I've embedded a contact form from Honeybook onto my website. So whenever and actually two different contact forms. So I have a wedding one and a general one just because weddings are so specific. So let's go to my wedding one, and I will show you when someone fills out the contact form on my website exactly what happens and how it all works together. So I'm just going to fill out some test information with me here. Discovered you from other. Okay, so when I hit send, I'm going to wait just a minute here. Look at that. I got a new inquiry. It's myself. Surprise. So I go over here to Honeybook and give it just a second to pull in. All right, so here is my new inquiry. This is the project view of Honeybook, and it's kind of the place that you live in the most. So it has these different steps, and I've created a couple of these as custom ones. Some of them just came with it to begin with, but a new inquiry will always pop up into here. And here is what happens when you come in and look at a project. So every kind of person, every photo shoot request would come up as a project. That's kind of the terminology. So you can come in here. I always like to make this a nice pretty picture here. So they won't see this one, but there's some other opportunities to put pictures in where they actually will see, which is kind of fun. So here's the general information of the inquiry. The biggest thing about Honeybook is that everything is in one place. So anytime that you email with this person from now on, instead of going to your email to respond to them, you'll go right into Honeybook, go into their project, you can respond right here, pre-wedding inquiry. Obviously, wouldn't name it quite that, but if you have email templates saved in here, which I do, you can come down and just choose one of those. I kind of have a lot in here right now. So I'm going to say, hey, I'm available for your wedding date. I'd love to get on the phone with you. Here's my link. So I try to put some personal stuff in there as well, but it saves me so much time to not have to reinvent the wheel every time somebody inquires, which is awesome. You can also, so the stage is back on that projects page. This is like the stage. So right now it's in inquiry. If they went ahead and booked with me, I could pop it into planning. I keep my mini sessions separate because they're just helps me stay organized that way. So it's kind of, it's very customizable for whatever you like. There's this lead source thing, which is nice because it tracks it all and you can run reports on where you're getting leads from, where you're booking the most leads from, that kind of thing, so you know where to improve and what you're doing right and all that jazz. You can also put tasks in here. This is one of my favorite features because this reminds you exactly when you're supposed to do anything. So you could say follow up if no response. I always try to make sure I have one future task set for any active projects just so it doesn't get lost. So I could say I want to do this next week. So now when you go to your tasks page, and this will be on your home page as well, it shows you all of the tasks that you're supposed to do today, which is so helpful. And you'll see this one was automatically created with a workflow, which I'll show you in a minute. These were manual, so you can just pop right into the project. see all your past emails. Sorry, I'm scrolling kind of fast here. And then for any projects that you have booked, I'll show you this one as an example. You have all of the files in the same place too, which is huge because I used to create Google Docs, and I was really good about writing things down, but remembering exactly where I wrote them down or the most updated version was an issue. So in this files tab, you have their invoice, which also has their contract in it, their questionnaire for weddings, which you can create templates for. So you just make it once, a lot of work to set up at the beginning, but then you literally have 2 buttons to click to send a new bride a questionnaire a few months before their wedding. So I have all this information that I can use to help write their blog posts, all their vendors, permission to share images, all that kind of thing. And then also you can create timelines right in here as well, which is super nice, keeps it all in one place. Again, they can approve it, you can make updates, all of that stuff. So you just have all the details right there. Couple other things I want to share in the tools. So the templates, I kind of mentioned email templates, but here's where everything is housed. You have a proposal, which is actually a contract and an invoice combined in one. So that's almost always what I use, especially for weddings. So let's see here. You can have a bunch of different templates for that. You have their invoice section and then their proposal section. They can sign this online, pay their invoice, pay their deposit online, and then it will remind them at different points before their actual final payment is due. Questionnaires, like I mentioned, you can have several of those. I have an album one and a wedding questionnaire that I use the most. Brochure is what I use for my pricing guide, and this is great because any of these files you can actually see if a client has clicked on it, opened it. It's just so you know, like, are they ghosting me? Did they actually get my email? Which you can also see if they've read emails. So another super helpful thing. So I have my 2019-2020 wedding one in here, and there's kind of a lot of stuff to get them, help them get to know me before it even gets to like the pricing part. So that's really fun. And this was a template that Honeybook had. It was free. I just changed some of the wording, dropped in my pictures in Photoshop, and very well explained. So that stuff is super customizable and easy. The contact forms you can have, this is where that one, like that last one that I was on, that was my wedding one, which is right here. So then you just use that embed code to put it on your website. And then I have a general contact form as well. And those, the other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is workflows. So these are so helpful because the easiest one I would say to set up is just an automatic email when somebody inquires, because especially as a wedding photographer, you know, brides are looking at so many photographers that they probably don't even remember what all the contact forms that they filled out were for, or which photographers they were for. So having an automatic email get sent to them just saying, hey, thanks so much for reaching out. I respond within 24 hours. Be on the lookout for a link to schedule a discovery call with me if I have your date available. Something as simple as that can just be another touch point, a reminder that you exist, and just for them to look back at and just know that you're going to be following up and have good expectations about when that will be. You can also, that's like the very simplest thing that you can do with these, but there's so much you can do with these. So take, for example, so I just have that one email set up for my wedding inquiry welcome workflow. Everything beyond that, I'm going to work on this a little bit more, but everything beyond that, I kind of have a system that I just put in certain tasks for myself as I go. But I have a pre-wedding workflow here. So if I go into a project, I can say, apply this workflow. And most of the stuff I like to have, I'll manually do it, but it tells me like what to do next. So I don't have to worry about the wrong thing going out at the wrong time or any of that, but it will create a task for me, add the bride, add their email addresses to different things, set up engagement session, all these different steps, shooting the engagement session. This was a big one for me, mail bride welcome gift. I often get a lot of inquiries or bookings in like little chunks. So remembering who I've sent their welcome gift or their wedding and engagement guides. I had a couple moments last year where I was like, did I send that to them? I can't even remember. So having a spot in here that says like, yes, I checked that off. I usually add the date that I sent it just so that I know like I didn't accidentally do this or anything. I sent it on this date so I can be sure. That's super helpful. Send questionnaire. It will actually pull my wedding questionnaire right in, and I just have it set to approve before sending. You can set it to just send 60 days ahead of time, but I know sometimes brides will start asking questions about timeline and stuff a little bit sooner than that, so I might go ahead and send it to them then, that sort of thing. So that's kind of the gist of it. I just love knowing like this is who I need to follow up with for weddings. I split it out into family follow-up. This is who I need to follow up for families. This is when I need to follow up. All of that stuff in one place has seriously saved my life. So if you have any questions about Honeybook, feel free to comment or shoot me an email. Put a note in the Facebook group. The other kind of big titan in the CRM industry for creatives is Dubsado, and couldn't recommend that one more either. I've never used it, but I have friends who have and who love it, and there's a lot of functionality with that one too. But yeah, I'll try to put my referral link as well, which can get you 50% off your first year, which is $200 off. It's about $400 a year, which sounds like a lot when you're first starting out, but honestly, it makes you look so much more professional and gives clients such a more streamlined experience that I truly think I've gotten better referrals from clients and better testimonials and all of that stuff because their entire experience with me from the very beginning to the very end was a lot better than it used to be. It was just, they knew what to expect at all points, and everything was professional, online, timely, all of that stuff. So, yep, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.